Good morning, afternoon, evening, everyone, whatever time you are watching the video. Now, my name is Vishal Jha. We are in 2020 BTE CS 00039 from TYCSE batch. I'm going to present on bootstrapping under the guidance of Professor Gavankar. And without any further ado, let's just start the topic. So, first of all, we will see how a compiler works, or what are the main three characteristics of a compiler. So, compiler basically deals with three languages. First one is the source language, which needs to be converted into the target language. But to convert the source language into the target language, we need a intermediate language, which is known as the implementation language. Now, what is this language? So, basically, when the source language is written for the first time, it needs to convert to the target language, as is the machine language or the assembly language. But to convert it, we need to use any other language. Just for example, when Java was written, to convert it into the machine language, that is the Java compiler, was actually written in C language. Nowadays, it's written in Java language. How it has been done, we will be looking at the further slides. But for now, we can assume that the first source language, what needs to be converted into the target language, is using a intermediate language, which is called as the implementation language. Now, if we will go further, so bootstrapping, there are some uses of the bootstrapping. The very first use says the produce a self-hosting compiler. Now, what do you mean by self-hosting compiler? A self-hosting compiler is nothing but a compiler which is written in the same language, which is used to convert the same language. That is what it is. So, as we just talked, that the Java language, when first written, was using the compiler which was written in C language. But nowadays, if you will see, there is a Java compiler. It is actually written in Java language only. Well, there are still few parts of the compiler which is being written in C language, but most of the parts is now written in Java language. So how it is possible? It is possible using bootstrapping. What bootstrapping allows us to do is, bootstrapping basically allows us to convert one language into another language using some intermediate language. So when Java was written into the machine language using the C language, we use C language as an intermediate language. Then we converted C language into Java language in any other language, and thus we can say that the Java language is actually converted into the intermediate language, final target language, using the Java language only. If it seems confusing, we will be looking at it through an example. But basically what it does is, it removes us the problem for writing something from scratch. Like, we need to write the compiler from scratch, but if we are using an intermediate language to convert into more complex language, then we can simply do it, because the compiler of the intermediate language is already available. So we don't need to write the code from scratch. And again, that is just mentioned, it is used to develop complex languages compiler like Java. To make the Java compiler, we use the concept of bootstrapping. Now, those when we have converted the compiler of Java, now this compiler of Java can be used to convert furthermore languages. Suppose the language of Kotlin or any new language, we can use same process to convert furthermore complex language. And this is the way how bootstrapping works. Now, there's a text written over here that we can say that writing the compiler for any language is a complicated process. It takes a lot of time, and hence simple language is used to generate target code in some stages. Basically, that's what I explained, that if you need to convert the complex language, it will be complicated. So we are using an intermediate language to convert it to the target language. That is nothing but the use case of bootstrapping. Now, here we are going to take an example to get a better understanding of how actually it works. So we all know that the Pascal is compiler is actually written in C language. So now what happened here? You can see that the Pascal is converted into C language using the C language. Suppose C language is the final language. We need to convert C into C language. So we are using the C language compiler for converting it. Now, instead of C language, if I want to make it using a C++ language, so what I need to do is, I need to add an intermediate compiler, where my intermediate compiler will compile the C language into the C++ language. So what will be the scenario is, the Pascal language is going to get converted into the C language using the C++. How it is working? Pascal got converted into C using the code of C, but here the C is getting converted to the C++ using an intermediate language. So we can say that the intermediate language passed here is not actually C, it is actually C++, which is converted from C using an intermediate language. So here the diagram looks like that the Pascal is converted to C using C++ language. Basically, we need to specify these two languages as same, C and C over here, and C++ and C++ same over here, which means Pascal will be converted to C language using the intermediate of C language. But though that intermediate of C language is actually not of C language, it is of C++ language, which was converted into C++ using an intermediate compiler. So we can overall say that the Pascal is converted to C language using the compiler of C++ language. That was just the basic info of how it is getting converted, and I guess that was all about the bootstrapping. Thank you everyone for listening. Thank you.